Hi, my name is Adam Earhart, and I'd like to welcome you to my screencast on Diigo.com. If you're not familiar with Diigo, it's a social bookmarking website. Similar to how you would save bookmarks to your browser on your computer, this is a web-based application, so you'll be able to access it from any computer or any mobile device you may be on. And it also makes it easy to share resources with each other, which comes in particularly useful if you're a teacher. The first thing you'd want to do is go to Diigo.com, and if you go to Diigo.com/education, you'll be able to sign up for a free educator account. Even if you have an account, you can go to education and upgrade to an educator account for free. What the educator account does, it gives you some of the premium features, and it'll also let you create student accounts and student groups so that you can use this with your class. There's four main parts of Diigo. There's my library, my network, my groups, and the community. My library is where you're going to find any of the resources that you find on the internet and you save them to Diigo. They're automatically updated and stored in your library. When you save resources, in order to be able to find them in your library, they ask you to tag them. I usually tag with the subject and then also the specific content. So, for example, this website on multiplying fractions, I would have tagged it with math and with fractions, and you can see the tags right here. What that does is it makes it easy to go back and find your resources after you've saved them. If I want to just find my math tags, anything that has to do with math, I click on math and all of my math resources come up. Then you can also filter down and things that are related to it. So say I have something saved with math and facts or math and fractions, I can also go, and it's just a way to kind of find your resources and the things that you've saved quicker. The second part of Diigo, which makes it social, is your network. And you can follow anybody who has an account on Diigo. And what happens with that is anytime somebody that you're following, anytime they update something, it'll automatically be shared to your network. So I can go in and see what other teachers are saving and what they're adding to their libraries. And if it applies to me, I can save it to my library just by clicking save. The third part of Diigo is my groups. And the groups are useful for a few things. There are groups that have thousands of people in them that you can easily join if it applies to your content or just an interest area. And you can also create groups. And by creating a group, you could use it with your grade level, you could use it with your building, you could really use a group for anything. You can use them with your students. And what the groups do is as you save things, you can post them to your groups and share them to your groups, and then everybody in the group will get the resources that you save. And the fourth area of Diigo, which is probably one of my favorites, is the community. Anybody that saves anything to Diigo, it automatically gets added to the Diigo community. So a lot of the times I find myself, if I'm looking for a new web resource, instead of just doing a Google search and searching for something, I'll search the Diigo community. The reason I prefer that is it really blocks out a lot of the extra stuff that might just be junk that you'll get in a Google search, and you have a good idea of that it's going to be a good resource based on a couple of things. So if I'm going to look for a website on or a web tool on adding fractions, I would search Diigo for adding fractions, and when I search, my results come up and it tells me how many people have it saved into their library. And I have the option of I can click on it and it'll take me to the website, or if it's something that I just think that I want to add to my library, I can just click save right here and it'll automatically save it right to my Diigo library. So really, those are the four main parts of Diigo. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that because I don't have too much time, but I wanted to get into how to actually use Diigo to make your life as a teacher easier. Before I get into that, I wanted to point out over here on your account, when you click on your icon, if you go down to the help section, anytime you have a question or something you want to learn about Diigo, they really have a useful help section. It gives you all the tips and how to install the extensions and toolbars and how to use the different tools that are within Diigo. Right now I have the Diigo toolbar for Firefox installed, and that is this toolbar right here you see at the top of the screen. A lot of the times while I'm using Diigo, I'm not actually in the website, which is nice because it's just always there, and it's there anytime I come across a resource. I can just easily add it to my library, and then I always have it, and I can share it with other teachers, or I can just keep it for the future. Um, the the way that it works, say that I'm not even on Google and I'm looking for something on adding fractions, and I do a Google search for adding fractions, and I come up with something that I may want to that I find is a good tool, and I might want to save this for my for future use. All I would do is I would click here where it says bookmark, and I would tag it with math and fractions. And what that's going to do is save it to my library. You can also add a description if you have any notes you want to take or something to help you remember it. You can also change the title if you want to. But I'm just going to save it to my library. And so after something's saved, this becomes red to let me know that I already have it bookmarked. If it's something I don't have bookmarked already, it'll be green, and that'll let me know that I don't have it saved. So when I go back to Diigo and just using the toolbar, I click here, and this will automatically take me to my library. Here's the resource I just added. So really, the toolbar makes it easy to save resources and just very quickly just be able to access them. Another thing about the toolbar that I really like is going back to, let's see, go back to my Google search here for adding fractions. Say that I have something that, this video, okay, and I watch this video and I want to share it with the people, say in my grade level or in my building. Well, what I can do is, let me get this to load here. Okay, what I can do is I can click bookmark. It'll pull up the window. I might tag it as math, fractions, and video. Now, besides just saving it to my library, by clicking here, I can also share it to a group. Say I want to share it to the Red Line 5th grade group, and maybe I would say this is a great video for adding fractions. What that will do is it's going to add it to my library in Diigo, but it's also going to send it to everybody that's in my group. It's one of the reasons why the groups are pretty useful, is that it's easy to share things with people who have a similar interest as you do. So not only is that added to my library, it's also shared to the group. When you join a group or create a group, anytime something is added to it, you're going to get an email. And you can change your email alerts by going into your account and going down to settings, and you can change your email notifications. I usually get mine set for once a week. So once a week, whatever group it is, I'll get an email of all the new resources that have been updated to it. If you don't set it to once a week, I think once a month is the longest that you can go without getting updates. If you don't do anything, you'll find that you're getting constant emails, because anytime something is added to the group, you'll get an email. So one thing you'll definitely want to do is to go in here and change your settings to, once you can set it for daily, weekly, or monthly. So really, besides the groups, there's also a lot of other tools up here that you can use on websites. One thing that I wanted to point out is there's a highlighter. If you're on a website, you can also highlight things, and what that'll do is when you come back to the website, it'll still be highlighted because Diigo remembers it, and you can also take notes. I'd like to really quickly show you how that works before I'm out of time. So here I am back to my adding fractions, and I click on this website. As you can see earlier, I've highlighted this. I also put a comment here. Now, if this comment's just for myself, I could also make the comment to the group. So anybody that would be logged into my group that I've shared this resource with, they'll also see the highlight and the notes. So if I say, please remember these steps, and I can then share that to my group. And so now anybody that's in the 5th grade group that goes to this website and is logged into Diigo, they'll see the highlights, they'll see the notes that I made. So it really does make it useful for sharing things and also remembering important information. You can also make notes for the page by clicking on comment. And when I click comment, it automatically brings up this sidebar. I don't prefer to use a sidebar because I just think it takes up space and it's kind of clunky. The other thing you can do is add a floating sticky note. And by adding a floating sticky note, again, this can be private just for me, or I can share it to the group. This is a great resource. And I can share it to the group, and then anybody in my group who who goes to this website will see the sticky note, and they can add to it. They can add their own comments. And so, I mean, think about how you could use that with your class and with your students. Everybody's logged in. They can take notes, have discussions about websites. They can do research collaboratively and work in groups that way. So really, Diigo is more than just a bookmarking website. It has a lot of tools and a lot of options. I don't have the time to get into all of them, and honestly, I don't know all of the tools because there's just so much to it. There is a highlighter, like I said. You can take screenshots and automatically save your screenshots to Diigo. And also, if you want to save images to Diigo, you can do that very easily. So really, there's a lot more to it than just bookmarking. I hope you take the time to learn about Diigo and to spend time getting familiar with it, because it really will make your life as a teacher more efficient and effective. Thanks. Have a good day.